Live from Connecticut's news leader, this is NBC 30 News at 11.
Weather trouble, but tonight's storms bring a dramatic end to the heat wave. Hi, everybody. We begin with another vicious weather rerun.
These pictures of today's storms have become all too familiar this week. Right now, tens of thousands of homes are without power. Tonight's team coverage of the wicked weather begins with NBC 30's Erica Tarantel live in Waterbury. Erica.
Jerry, trees like this one here on Springdale Street can be seen all across this area. They may have come with a cool down, but those storms came with a big price. Severe wind, rain, and lightning. This summer storm almost had the look of a hurricane. And it certainly left a considerable mess behind.
Oh my God, well, I was sitting on the front porch and it was hailing and everything. And the trees were blowing.
Blowing right over and shutting down streets like Highland in Waterbury and Davis in Watertown. On Delaware Avenue, we found a jumble of live wires and limbs after both a power pole and a tree gave way, hitting two homes.
Bounced off ours and it hit my neighbors, so it was crazy.
One family had a close call with a bolt of lightning. It struck their chimney here on Inverary Drive. Now pieces of it can be found on their front path. Now, with the big cleanup just beginning, people in the area say they're sick of this extreme weather.
Well, lately for Waterbury, it seems to be the norm. We got hit back a couple of months ago, did a lot of damage.
Even though this round of rain is ushering in cooler air to cure our heat wave, most we spoke to say for the change they've felt so far, all this doesn't seem worth it.
I don't know. We just have more humidity now that it rained. Not really cooling down that much.
And it may not feel much cooler for many without air conditioning with wires down. CLNP reported about 2,500 customers in this area are without power. Live in Waterbury, Erica Tarantel, NBC 30 News.
Thank you, Erica. Well, as you saw, the storms can be damaging, but they set us up for some terrific weekend weather. Brad's here with the first look. The storms did their job.
They did, Joanne. The 8-day torrid heat wave is history. Sayonara.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Boy, good riddance, I'll tell you. This is how the radar looked. We're going to take a replay of the radar. And first off, at around 5 o'clock, what I'm showing you right in here is the area around North Stonington and Preston, where there were severe thunderstorms and trees down. Next up, this shot around 5:30 is in the Bethel area, trees and wires down. Then, as Erica reported, in Waterbury, Middletown, and Meriden, you see the cell right on through there. And then it finally put on quite a lightning show around Mystic. I'll show you more on that coming up a little bit later. But we do have more rain off to the west. You see this large area of cloud cover. That'll be coming in. Some rain tomorrow morning, beneficial rain, but look up here. It's nice and dry. Jerry and Joanne, that is building in for Friday night and the weekend. I'll have full details of a forecast you don't want to miss coming up.
All right, we'll be there, Brad. Thank you. There may be no one happier that this heat wave is ending than firefighters around Connecticut. They've been suiting up and lugging their heavy equipment in this sweltering heat for days, and it's made their difficult jobs even more difficult. NBC 30's Logan Burns is in Middletown tonight with that part of the story. Logan?
Joanne, we are here on West Street where power was just restored about 15 minutes ago. The crews were working on the power lines that you see just behind me here. But as far as being a firefighter on a day like today, very difficult. You had the very bad heat throughout the day. And then, of course, this evening you had the high humidity and you had, of course, the rain and the wind, Mother Nature taking its toll.
Yeah, it does get really tough in the triple digits. The high humidity is not helping us out too much.
Hartford firefighters staying hydrated as they battle the heat and this fire on Prospect Avenue.
I would say if you don't get things done in about 10-15 minutes time, then you're starting to get to that critical area when guys are going to start getting a little wiped out in there, and then you don't know what's going to happen.
And if dealing with scorching temperatures isn't enough,
You have to work harder to get the job done on a normal day. You have to work harder to accomplish the same task.
lightning, rain, wind, and humidity made it even more unbearable for Middletown firefighters.
All of a sudden, it just blew.
Crews responded to numerous calls, including this one on Hickory Circle, where a tree snapped, landed on a power line, and caused a small transformer fire.
In a short period of time, we had 3 transformers in the city of Middletown that were relatively close where they all blew out.
And here on West Street, you can still see the smoldering grass from where the power lines landed. And up the street at Pondview Apartments Senior Housing Complex, the loss of power there meant several residents had to use backup oxygen tanks.
These days, I've had them all my career, and fortunately they're not every day like this, but when they do come, the men and women are ready to go.
And the good news is, as Brad said, we're out of this, and we've got some cooler temperatures on the way. Reporting live in Middletown, Logan Burns, NBC 30 News. Joanne?
Thank you, Logan. It's been a rough night after another rough day in downtown Stamford, where the power was shut off at noon. Connecticut Light and Power said heavy demand forced it to cut electricity because underground power lines were being damaged. Street lights were out, streets had to be closed, and that made it a rough commute for many of Stamford's workers.
It takes 2 hours normally, it'll probably take 5 or 6 today, so it's hardly worth coming in.
Power was also cut to some residential buildings, sending elderly residents to nearby cooling centers. It may be another day or so before power can be completely restored in Stamford.
Within the past hour, Connecticut Light and Power reports more than 45,000 customers in the dark tonight. Among the community's hardest hit, Stonington with 4,600 outages, more than 3,600 without power in Cheshire, and just over 2,800 in both Middletown and Groton. The heat wave brought out the worst and the best of some people in Bristol.